Hello, everyone. With the competition coming up in just a few weeks, I thought I'd kind of take a look at where our teams should be and how things should kind of look for our teams as we approach our challenge and making sure that we have teams that are ready to compete. It's been a challenging year. There's no doubt about that, and some teams are maybe further along than others, and I think this is a point where you've got to be proud of where you are, proud of what you've done and accomplished. We've got a lot of new coaches, a lot of new team members. We're going to go to compete with what we have and see how things go. But our number one goal is and always has been making sure that we're having fun, enjoying ourselves, and making sure that kind of stays in the forefront of what we're doing. And hopefully, when we're ready to go to competition, it's an exciting day, it's a fun day, and everybody's having a good time. So let's take a look at what our teams need to be ready to go to competition. To start with, I want to talk about our judging system. So on competition day, the kids are going to go and they'll run their robot between either 3 or 4 times. Usually it's 4. So you'll have 4 robot runs usually to do. I try to make it so that all of the kids have an opportunity to run the robot. It's up to you how things kind of look. When you're doing a robot run, only 2 kids can go up to the table at a time. However, kids can switch in and out. So all of your team could be running the robot at any given run, but only 2 can be up at the table at a time. So they have to practice switching in and out who they are. Or you can just have 2 kids that run that do the whole robot run. And you could switch out the first time 2 kids do it, the second time 2 other kids do it, the third time 2 other kids, and the fourth time your last 2. So it's up to you kind of how that works. But you'll run the robot usually 4 times. And then the judging system, we used to have 3 different judging rooms, 1 for core values, 1 for robot, 1 for our project presentation. But that has changed this year. They're doing a 30-minute, all-inclusive judging system. And the theory behind that is the kids can spend more time on the parts that they're proud of and maybe have more to say. And if they don't have a lot to say, then the judges can kind of move on from that and give them more time in an area where they're more proficient. So we'll talk a little. I'll show you a place to kind of take a look at how that judging kind of works. But it's just going to be 1 judging room for 30 minutes. There's no core values poster. We've always done one of those in the past. They haven't actually required a core values poster for a number of years. And I think with this new judging system, I'm not sure that we need it. You are welcome to create one, especially if you think the kids are going to need that to talk about their core values. But they don't have to have all the core values memorized. But when they hear the words, the core value words, they should know what they mean. And they should be able to give examples about how their team has shown those core values. Their project presentation will last 5 minutes. I don't know, in the past the judges have actually stopped them at 5 minutes. They have a timer, they literally start it, and when 5 minutes goes off, they'll stop them right then. So practice giving your presentation. Usually it goes faster on competition day, so if you're close to 5 minutes, you're probably going to be in pretty good shape. And when I say close to 5 minutes, I mean within just a few seconds each time. Maybe you're just a few seconds over, and that's okay. So kind of practice giving that presentation. If you haven't started creating your presentation, which my team hasn't, it's maybe time to start looking at that. Hopefully your project is kind of solid and you've got a pretty good idea what it is. And it's time to start thinking about how are you going to present that to the judges. During the presentation, I always try to convey to the judges why I think this is a problem, why our team thinks it's a problem, are the research that our team has done into it, and then how our solution is innovative and different than anything that might be out there. So those are things to kind of think about in the presentation. If you can make your presentation memorable, that's a great way to put your team in the driver's seat for some good scores. If you can make the judges laugh, giggle, if you can make the judges remember what's going on from your team, however you want to do it. I've always done with my teams just a straight presentation where each kid tells facts. It doesn't usually go well. The teams that are very successful are ones that do like a little skit where kids are acting things out. Things are kind of, it's a skit. So just kind of keep that in your head. I'm not saying that's what you have to do. I'm just saying that the ones that tend to score the best tend to do that. Keep in mind that you want to take a look at that rubric for project presentation and make sure you're ticking as many boxes on there as you can figure out how. You should have some sort of prop or poster for your presentation, or both. They've always required a project presentation poster. I don't see that in any of the notes right now. If anybody does see it, please let me know so that I can convey that information. But I don't see a place where it says you have to have a poster, but it does kind of indicate that you should have some sort of prop or display or something so that the judges can see conceptually what your project is all about. We are building our box. Ours is a lock box for packages, and so we've actually built that, and we have a number of our components for that box as part of our prop. So that's probably what we're going to go with. I don't know that we're going to make a poster. But if we have time, that's something we would definitely look into. A poster could be hand-drawn bits. It could be computer-printed bits. It could be pictures, any sorts of things that kind of help the team convey their information. You'll do a robot presentation. This is kind of new. We've always done a robot design executive summary the last couple of years. They're not requiring that. They didn't require it last year or the year before, I think. But they did, at one point they did have that. But your team should be able to talk about your robot, some things to highlight, any sort of attachments that you've put on your robot. So things that you've built, and not just that you've built, but how you came up with those ideas, how they help your robot. There will not be a challenge set in the robot presentation room, so the kids will not be able to put their robot on a robot challenge set. I will double check that, but I don't think they have that in the robot presentation room. They haven't in the past. So what you want to do is be able to highlight though those attachments, any unique programming that your kids have done. Our line follow program, if the kids can really explain the line follow program, that will go a long way towards showing how our kids have done with the robot. If you can, in the code, add comments, there's a comment block that you can add. Or even if you print the code and the kids do some handwriting of the comments, that's a great way to make sure that the judges understand what our code is meant for. Bring a copy of the code with you. We can print that here in the classroom, or you can print it at home. There's a couple ways to get that done. But that's something that is not required, but highly recommended that at least a copy of the code be presented to the judges. It's recommended to bring a team information sheet. Some competitions do require it. I don't know if this one will, but it's something to kind of work on. There's a link to that in a website that I'm going to put in the email that I'm sending you. And that's kind of it. We're going to have team shirts. Yeah, the day itself will last from early in the morning until well into the afternoon. It starts at about 8 o'clock in the morning and goes until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a full day. It's an exciting day. It's an exhausting day. But it's a blast. The kids it's just amazing. So come ready to have fun. Come ready to stay focused. Come ready to help your team out. I'm planning to be there with all the teams and with all the parents. I think it's an exciting day, an important day. So I'm planning to be there as well. But I just want to get you kind of a heads up as to what we're kind of headed for. I'll just kind of wrap up by saying, if you want my help, if you need my help with anything, or you're having questions, or you're having challenges, or you want to run some things by me, please shoot me an email, shoot me a text. I am happy to be at just about any practice that you're at, and I'm happy to help as our weeks go on. So thank you again, coaches. You're doing an awesome job. The teams are looking really good. The kids are having fun. Keep up the good work, and I really appreciate it.